Well, hello everybody. I am back today with some more planner hacks, as you can see from the title below. So today we are going to talk all about planner hacks to help me stay organized in my planning and things that help me to, keep my planner looking pretty, looking fresh. And I know that that is not the goal for everyone. There are some people who are totally fine taking just their pen to paper or their pen to their highlighter and that kind of thing and scratching things off. But for me, it really helps me to be my most productive self when I am inspired to look in my planner. So for me, that means I want it to look pretty. I want it to look decorated. I just want that aesthetic in my planner. That also adds to that creativity part for me. So that is something that is important to me in my planner. And so if that's not important to you, that's totally fine. This is just my style, and I'm just sharing a few tips that work for me if you are interested in that. So the very first thing that I am going to share with you is step one for me in keeping my planner organized and in keeping things just kind of flowing in my planner and that kind of thing is to use the art of pre-planning. And so I do that a couple of ways. So when I am planning and you guys are seeing things like this or like my weekly spreads, they are planned out, they look beautiful, everything has its spot, but what you don't necessarily see behind the scenes before I film these plan with me's is this. Sometimes you see this, sometimes you don't, but this one is actually like pretty clean and pretty fresh, but a lot of times I will have this sheet of paper just in the back of my planner and I am going to just write down everything. I kind of use this as a brain dump. So before I plan, I take a look at a couple of things. So this list is generated from a few different places. So these are all the things that actually go on this week. So these are all of the things that I wanted to transfer into this weekly plan. And so when I am starting, initially, when something initially gets planned, because I always have my digital calendar on me, it goes in here. So when something gets planned, it goes in here. Same thing on my husband's end, it goes in here. And that is because we have a shared calendar. And so it's important for us to both have access to that calendar so that we can plan not only our days, but plan like, what are we going to do with the kids that day? Who's going to do what, who's going to take on what parenting responsibilities, who's going to do what household responsibilities, because we do share a lot of the duties at home and we both are at home all the time. And so we can kind of flex and play around with different things and different, times for us. When something is told to me or something kind of comes across my radar, it goes in here. So if I want to plan something, let's say I wanted to plan to have coffee with my friend over lunch, that would go in here first before it ever made it onto any of my lists or planners. And so before I sit down to film a plan with me video, which I will link all over the place if you guys are actually interested in checking those out, before it goes into a plan with me where I'm putting it with pretty stickers and plans and that kind of thing, it goes in my phone. So before I do that plan with me, I grab my phone and I grab a sheet of paper. And so what I will do is I will look through my calendar and anything that is like a major overview event. So something like tax day, a recruiter call that I had, Delilah's recurring art class, when I have to record the podcast. Filming, I don't necessarily put on there because I film every day, although I am maybe going to change that up a little bit. So it might make it onto this list. When Delilah is riding her bike over to my mom's, my mom is going to Hawaii, so that's something I wanted to document in my planner so that I know she is not available for things, because she is like our extended family and not only childcare, but also someone that, I just want to keep track of her, birthday parties, those kind of things. And this list used to be much shorter at the beginning of the pandemic. It is now much longer. So anything that is on that digital calendar then goes onto this handwritten list. Then what I will do is I will flip to my previous week, and anything that doesn't have a check mark here, well, I didn't do that very well this week, but allegedly anything that doesn't have a check mark on my to-do list goes on this to-do space. And then anything that I wasn't able to finish from my master to-do list, these are like long-term goals, like big tasks, that also goes in the to-do section. And then I can kind of flesh out which goes where. And then I also will pull from this next week category from my digital calendar. So anything that is not the current week that I want to plan for, but the next week goes down here. And I always have like the next week items here so that I can plan in advance. If I need to get a gift for a birthday party, for example, I know that that's there. If I need to plan to clean out an area, like our furnace is going to be serviced, so I want to make sure that area is clean and ready for them to be there, that is there, so I am aware of that. But pre-planning, long story short, helps me to do this process, because when I am filming and I'm pulling out stickers, I don't want to also be trying to remember like what events go where, what I need to be doing. I want to be focused at that time on how can I plan this decoratively, because that is what I like. I mean, we can all agree that I could just use this list, right? We could agree to that I could just use this list, pen to paper. I could just use a daily sheet, pen to paper. But for me to actively go back to my plans, I need to have the decoration. Additionally, it's a creative outlet for me. So I could do it like this. I totally could, but to be able to do it like this, I need to have pre-planning tools in place to be able to do that. So that is step one for how I keep my spreads organized. I do the same thing with my monthly. So before I sit down to do a monthly overview, I take and pull everything from my digital calendar, because if there's anything long-term that's been planned, it's in there already. And anything that pops up is also going to be in there. So I also, you know, as I go along, will have meetings with my digital calendar where I update this so that I am up to date when I go to plan. So some of these pre-planning things also do come from here. So most of the time I do transfer them to my monthly, which should already be planned. That is step one in my organization system. Step two, and this is another pre-planning tool that I use, but I'll grab out like a notepad or sticky notes or something if I'm not going to make that list. I've actually been doing this quite a bit more, and I don't actually have them to show you because I've already planned out my month for the month of May. It's a little teaser there too. Before I do this, right, before I sit down and do something like this, my monthly spread will have these things all over it. These will be all over, you know, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have things written down, whether it's on a sticky note or whether it's on a sheet of paper, but I want to have it written down before I really commit it to my planner. And I am okay with scratching things out. I have scratched things out before, but I prefer it to look more aesthetically pleasing. That is just for me. That's what I like. So I prefer to do something like using a rescheduled sticker, or I'll talk about another method that I do with that as well. But if I use sticky notes first before I have a permanent plan, I'm able to move it around, right? So you don't have to, it's a lot more difficult to move a sticker than it is to move a sticky note. So using a sticky note or keeping a running list on a notepad next to you and maybe moving that around and into your planner, that is something that works really well for me too. So before I have a plan that's permanent, it goes here before it gets committed to a sticker. And then again, if plans change, because they totally do, it is easy to make those changes. So here is another tip that I like to do to keep my plans organized. And I wonder if I can show you this. I wonder if it's going to be, if you're going to be able to see it, but I actually used this method this week. Oh, you kind of can. Let's see if I'll bring it up and you can kind of see it. So if you can kind of see the edge of this sticker looks a little bit different. Like there, you can kind of see underneath that sticker that there is another sticker. You might even be able to see my writing there with the shadowing a little bit, but I had something else planned there. I actually had our furnace service planned for this week, and I had to move it because we've had a death in the family. And so we needed to change our plans. So instead of scratching things out or, heaven forbid, trying to lift a sticker off of this Happy Planner paper, I just covered it with another box. And so that is a big reason why I write my plans a lot of the time in these boxes. Or if I have something like this, I think I actually did that on my monthly. So if I have something that was, okay, so under here, I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but under here, there's like a dot, and you can kind of see where my handwriting was on the top there, but I had a dot in this. So instead of using that dot or trying to cover it up or scratch it out, I just put a colorful box over the top so that I could change my plans. Now, there's nothing wrong with scratching things out, but again, I prefer to cover things in my planner, and I feel like that is the easiest method for me, and I feel like it works pretty well, and it's another benefit to using stickers while I plan. So it is a functional benefit to using stickers while I plan, is that I can move things around and change up my plans without disrupting the aesthetic of my spread. That works really well for me. So covering things with a colorful box or any other kind of box, or if it's something that you have canceled altogether and you're not changing the plan, you can always cover it with like a decorative sticker as well. That is something that you can do too, and that I have done. So that is another planner hack. That's planner hack number 3 for how to keep your planner organized and looking cute. Okay, and another thing that works really well for me is to not overcomplicate my planner tools and my planner system. This is a lesson that I learned recently about my planner system. For years, I have been trying to make this too complicated, and I think part of that is because I was influenced, just like we always are, by other people who have these beautiful giant planner stacks, but they use them and they use them well, but that just wasn't something that worked well for me. I wanted to have lots of planners, but I felt more disorganized than I felt organized. I felt like my plans were all over the place and having to flip into multiple things, look at multiple calendars and remember multiple things and remember to put things in multiple places. It just wasn't working for me. So when I pared down to using one planner plus daily sheets plus maybe like a content planner, I guess what that means is I use one planner plus some like supporting sheets, I guess, right? So I have one main planner that I use, which is my dashboard planner, and I use the heck out of that thing. I use the weekly, I use the monthly, I use the before pages. It works, that this planner puts in work. It works really hard. And then in addition to that, I use my daily sheets to fully break down my day. And this is where I see exactly what I have to do. And something that has really helped me is to pick out, okay, so I feel my best when I have all of the things out of my head and onto a to-do list. So every day I sit down and I make a to-do list of what I'm going to do. But I know for almost certainty that I am not going to be able to complete all of these tasks. I almost always know that, but I need to get it out of my head and on paper. And some of these things are bigger than the lists that I use in my dashboard home section. So this is just like more of like a brain dump, I guess. But what I will do is I will pick out 2 big things that I want to accomplish. So there is a job application that I want to get in today, and then I need to have this video filmed, this one that you're watching. I need to do those things. So pulling out those priorities on a daily sheet really helped me. And then the other thing that I have kind of created, and I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, there, that's a little bit better. But I have actually taken this section and made this into my own hourly. I am still like kind of tweaking about like which hours I want to use and that kind of thing. And I can't remember which sticker books, but there are some hourly stickers that I need to find. But I have transformed this section into an hourly. So this is what my day looks like, and then these are my to-dos, and then anything down here is just extra. So that is how I use my daily planner. I know that Happy Planner also does have some daily sheets that have hours already on them, but they're not neutral. They just don't work for me the way that this one I think does. So if they were to come out with one that had the hours on it and it was neutral, that would be a much better fit for me than this one. But for now, I'm gonna make what I wanna see. And let me know, okay, here's a question. Are there any of you out there who are hourly planners who enjoy a setup similar to this, where you have hourly and a to-do and then maybe something at the bottom? I have been toying around with the idea of creating a printable because sometimes when we don't see what we want to see, we make it. So if any of you would be interested in a printable daily sheet that looked like that, let me know because I might do it. And then thinking about not overcomplicating when it comes to tools, these are the only tools that I use when I'm planning outside of stickers. So stickers, I mean, that's totally different. But when I'm thinking about tools, the only things that I use are a good pair of scissors. I have a backup in here just because I know that I have little people running around. I have these pens in case I need them. If I'm going to be using any kind of blackout paper, I do have them, but those I don't use very often. And then I always keep a spare pen because I feel like my pens run away from me even if I have a cute one attached to my planner. I have tweezers. I have a washi cutter. So this actually came from Go Wild. This came from Plan Halen. I don't know if she made these herself or if she purchased these somewhere, but you can follow her at Plan Halen on Instagram and you can ask her where she got these, or maybe she sells them. That would be super rad if we could support her in doing that. And then this is like an everything cutter. So this is like a little X-Acto knife, but it is like a ballpoint pen. So it's a cutting tool, but it is a ballpoint pen. And this came from Printpressions. That's right. So Printpressions was giving these out at Go Wild in our swag bags. And I swear this is one of my favorite things that I brought home from Go Wild. And they do sell them. They sell them individually or in a kit. I will try to link them down below. It is not an affiliate link. I'm not talking about this product because I'm getting anything. This is genuinely just one of the best planning and crafting products on the market. So that is all that I really have in here. So keeping my tools and things simple really helps me to stay organized when I'm planning. So if I'm not trying to use a bunch of different bits and bobs and be extra, you know, I'm a little bit extra when it comes to my stickers, I will say that. But I also have kind of a plan going into using stickers. So I'll grab just a couple of books, I'll grab just a couple of my tools that I have right here, and then we move on and really get into planning. And that helps me to be my best self and to plan, honestly, to plan my best life. That sounds really silly, and I know we've all heard it said before, but planning really enhances my life, and planning on paper enhances my life in a way that digital planning never could. And then the last part is making sure that you're not getting caught up in the hype. Like I said, you guys have seen my Shop With Me vlogs. You have seen me get excited about shopping and get excited about purchasing planners. But I think part of that is because I enjoy shopping. So if you are like thinking about trying to be your most organized self, try your very best to not get caught up in that hype. And I know that might sound kind of silly coming from someone like me, who is, I guess, a hype maker, but I just get excited, right? And I am like, I do those things. But I think thinking about keeping everything as simple as possible, even when you're thinking about your craft room, right? Like you don't want to be overwhelmed by the stuff that you have in there that's going to get in the way of your planning. So that is something that I have as a goal for myself that maybe I want to think about, but I enjoy shopping for planning supplies. So I don't know how I can balance those two things. If any of you have found like a good way to do that, let me know, because even though I'm offering that as advice, that is still an area of growth for me. And then the last thing that I have that is an organization kind of hack or tip, and I don't have one of them down here, but I hear people talk about these metal discs all the time and tell me that their pages don't slide as easily on these as they do on the plastic ones. Now, here I am going to tell you a hack. So what I want you to do is I want you to get either a piece of like a dryer sheet or a piece of wax paper and rub that around the edges of all of your discs. And I promise you that your discs and your paper will slide much more easily. So that is my last planning hack for this video. I hope that you all have enjoyed this. I am so excited about this video and I love sharing these Happy Planner 101 videos. If you have any questions that I could answer in the form of a video, like planning type questions, or if you're a new planner and you're not sure where to get started, let me know down in the comments and I will either direct you to a video that I already have, or I will make that video for you. I'm always trying to think about this Happy Planner 101 series as a way that I can serve the community, as a way that I can give back to you guys. So let me know if you have questions that I haven't answered or things that I can answer that kind of fit within how I plan and that kind of thing. So thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, my name is Caitlin and I would love it if you would hit that red subscribe button down below and go ahead and give me a follow and a subscribe. And then also please give this video a thumbs up, as well as leave a comment down in the comments section. Both of those things help engagement on my videos, which helps YouTube to promote them and show them to more people, which helps my voice to get louder. So those are free ways that you can help this channel, and I so appreciate every single one of you who takes the time out of your day to do those things. And if you'd like to find me anywhere else, you can find me on Instagram at creatinginchaos_official. Thank you to those of you who have come over and you're hanging out with me over there already. It's a great time over there, so make sure that you're doing that. And then additionally, if you'd like more free content from me, you can check me out at the Spice Chaos podcast, wherever your favorite podcasts are served. I chat with my bestie Leanne every Monday and some of our friends from the planner community, so make sure that you check us out over there where your favorite podcasts are served. And then if you want even more content from me and you want to take it up a notch, I do also have a Patreon, so you can check me out over there. You can find me on at Creating in Chaos on Patreon, or you can find my Patreon link in my link tree in the description box below. So thank you in advance for checking that out. I have tiers that start as low as $1 and go all the way up to $100. So thank you in advance to my patrons. You guys are sponsoring this content and you are making it possible for me to be able to make more of this content. So I would appreciate growing my Patreon as well. But if you are unable or uninterested in joining Patreon, that is totally fine too. I love that you are able to join me here, and every time you watch a video and interact with me, that helps me out so much as well, and I appreciate you. And last but not least, if you have been here for a while, if you are one of my OG subscribers, or if you just recently subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing and hanging out with me. This community honestly means the entire world to me. So here is your internet hug for the day. And with that, by the way, you guys, have fun today.